day. All right. More Kendrick news. It has been 48 hours. It has been more than 48 hours, as a matter of fact. More than 48 hours since Euphoria has come out. And there's been a ton of coping, a ton of demunching, a ton of glazing. Like, people are in super denial about Euphoria. People are in super denial about Euphoria, and blatant bias is showing, blatant ignorance is showing. Like, I've shown tweets of someone who legit said, I'm about to actually let's go to it right now, because here are some of the subtle things that we've seen. People have been literally dissecting this track, and again, I've said that people were dissecting Drake's tracks, right? They were like, oh, this like, and I learned some stuff. I learned some stuff, some stuff that I missed from Push-Ups and Taylor Made. Again, I'm not gonna lie about that. And again, Push-Ups is a good track. I ain't like Taylor Made so much, but Push-Ups was a good track. And I learned some stuff. But people have been literally like, just whether it's a reach or not, people have been legit like doing full think pieces about Euphoria. And I said it's levels to this. It's a difference in what people are doing. And people were saying that Kendrick had simple bars, but why are people dissecting it like this then? I felt like it didn't take much to dissect what Drake was saying. Like, if you didn't know some things, like I didn't know some things about The Weeknd, like that stuff was interesting when you're talking about The Weeknd and his manager and stuff like that. Like that's Toronto stuff. I don't know anything about that, so it was interesting to hear about it when he started talking about The Weeknd. But with this track with Kendrick, like people were just coming out with like some like things that could be blasphemous, but this is Kendrick we're talking about. Like some of the stuff that's like hitting, I'm like, dang, like that's crazy. So people have been literally dissecting this, and I feel like we're gonna talk about this all week. But Young Guru, legendary engineer, posted some things on his IG. So Young Guru says, I realize, and he's a teacher, by the way, so I realize some of my young people and my students have never seen The Wiz. And we talked about this before, literally in the beginning, which you were hearing in reverse. Was Richard Pryor in The Wiz. And he said, everything they say about me is true. Again, like just starting off with something that you have to play back. People immediately play back. What was that? What were they saying? So he explains that. He said, if you came up in a black household, it was mandatory. Facts. The dance scene and odds is incredible, but it points out that pop culture is fake. The Wiz changes the colors and people just go along with it. Richard Pryor later admits that he is a fake and a phony. And then he followed up with, which I knew about this one because people already, broke that down immediately and said, oh, this is from The Wiz. So, but this part though, I didn't catch. I mean, obviously I knew about, Drake, the garage, he played wheelchair Jimmy, he got shot and he ended up being in a wheelchair. And I know about Teddy Pendergrass as an artist, but I did not know that he got into a car accident. I never looked up Teddy Pendergrass's history or whatever. So I never knew that he got into a car accident. So he said he got into a car accident and had to live the rest of his life paralyzed in a wheelchair. And he's alluding to that's why Kendrick chose the Teddy Pendergrass song in the beginning before the beat switch. And I just thought like, just some slow stuff. He just wanted to choose it because and then just give him a little bit of talking before he got to the real stuff. But it could be some stuff with that too. I'm like, dang, like just something subtle like that. I was like, all right, like y'all kind of coming with it, man. Y'all kind of coming with it. So like I said, I think it's way deeper than what we're thinking here. Like I think that Kendrick literally took the time and thought about a lot of this stuff. He's like, yo, I'm going to surgically dissect you, and I want maybe he wanted the world to just dissect this track, just literally break it down into as many pieces as you can and be like, oh, did you catch that? Did you catch that? He probably laughing right now. He like, bro, I did all this stuff. Like it's probably some stuff that we still didn't catch yet, but I found this one interesting. I didn't put two and two together with why he chose, even though it's not fully true. But again, this is a Young Guru we're talking about, so take that. I would put a little bit more validity into what Guru was saying. He's opposed to, Kendrick and a lot of other legendary artists. So that was cool. I saw that. I was like, all right. Like that's dope. That's dope. This one is hella funny. I'm gonna turn this off so y'all can hear this. But There's some petty stuff. I don't think it was really meant for it to be this way, but Kendrick is on some Keith Lee effect stuff, man. He's on some Keith Lee effect. So if you see this video, let's watch it.
It's been an over decade-long feud, and now a new Kendrick Lamar diss record targeting Toronto's own Drake has one local Chinese restaurant caught in the middle, but in a good way. New Ho King on Spadina was mentioned in the song Euphoria, and now the owner says they have since been showered with 5-star reviews.
Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone go bleed in your family, Crody. I be a New Ho King. New Ho King.
There you go. That's right. I'm trying to learn how to sing the song now.
Johnny Liu is the owner of New Ho King in China.
Hey, shout out to Johnny Liu. Shout out to Johnny Liu. That man was saying, he was like, hey man, I go there. New Ho King is in Toronto. New Ho King. I was like, I thought that man was just hungry. He was like, I thought that man was just hungry. That man literally shouted out a place that he's been to. I was like, hey.
Chinatown.
So apparently Drake got robbed there. Whoa. Okay.
This morning, a lot of people text me. Said, "Oh,
that's interesting. If that's true.
I said yes, and they said, "Oh, look at that. Look at the song."
Don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody.
In the song, Kendrick Lamar jokingly pokes fun at the Toronto accent and slang. He then specifically mentioned the restaurant and their fried rice.
I be a New Ho King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy, Crody.
He said, "Good food and maybe the fried rice. Get more rice. The chef gonna be busy."
Since the song was released Tuesday, Google reviews for the establishment have been soaring with positive feedback, with most mentioning the song and their now famous dish.
Whoa, 7 minutes ago.
So people are mentioning the song that Kendrick...
Yep, I see that Kendrick's a good guy. Oh my God.
Liu says he expects more customers will be stopping by since he's been receiving this international attention. Even today, customers we spoke to said they made their way to Chinatown to try the fried rice, thanks to the American rapper.
I came all the way from Markham just to see this fried rice, man. Kendrick Lamar, you gotta pay respect to K-Dot, man. Ever since he dropped the diss track, I was like, I gotta visit this place.
Hey, man. See, I think honestly, people super underestimate the influence and power and just overall fame of Kendrick. When compared to Drake, literally, like, there's a handful of people, like, you count them on one hand, that's on his level. Like, as far as rappers right now, like, nobody's touching him. But you have a big three for a reason. This is why people considered him, Drake, and Cole as the big three. It's not only rapping ability, it's overall stardom. And Kendrick does numbers. Like, I think that people just try to automatically downplay it, because again, if you're comparing yourself to Drake, it's super hard because Drake has so many accomplishments, accolades. He beat the Beatles. He won away from Mike at the time. So I get that. Like, it's hard to just be like, oh man, Kendrick, he down there. Like, he ain't got no classics. He only got this many albums, but he ain't been doing. But bro, Kendrick does numbers too. Like, it ain't no. It ain't nothing to just brush off, and he ain't no slouch out here, man. He ain't no slouch out here. So people are literally behaving like this, and they're like, yo, you said something about New Ho King, is this real? Like, I live in Toronto, or I live somewhere that's close. I'm gonna come here because he shouted him out, and I'm gonna try out this food, because he said it in the track, bro. And like, it's so many people who, again, are downplaying Euphoria, but like, it hit the charts on Apple. Like, it did the same thing. Like, obviously it's not going to do it's not going to be number one for weeks and weeks and weeks as a diss track, but it hit the charts, and it did numbers on YouTube as well. So like, people are listening to this, and again, all the Drake fans and people who are just naysayers, they're like, oh man, he only did that because of he mentioned Drake because of the diss. But then where people were like, well, what about Rick Ross? Like, Rick Ross came out his diss track and he talked about Drake. So it's not that's not a correlation. That's not an angle that you want to take. I get it that you feel that way, and yes, more people are listening because he's talking about him, but that's not you can't say that because Rick Ross, even though Rick Ross is also a popular rapper, but again, if we're comparing overall stardom, he's not Kendrick and he's not Drake. So again, Kendrick is doing this seemingly by himself. I don't buy into that, oh, he only got this many views and he went up on the charts because he talked about Drake, because he can do this by himself too. You know, everybody anticipates a Kendrick release. Like I know the world isn't stopping, it's not coming to a halt, but people are anticipating when Kendrick drops. And allegedly he's supposed to get another project too. We'll see if it comes on the 3rd, which will be tomorrow, on Friday. By the time you see this, it'll, obviously we'll see if that ends up happening, but we'll see if he drops something. Damn, but speaking of dropping, he said ease up, you might come off with blazing. I'm just saying, man, like you gotta call it how it is. You gotta call it how it is. But and the last bit of news we want to talk about is allegedly DJ Head said 4 hours ago, I hear the boy Drake is dropping a hits record tonight. I hope it's amazing. And then he followed up and said, confirm. Best of luck to you. So, DJ Head said it's confirmed. So, will we hear something while I'm streaming? Are we going to hear something like close to midnight or at midnight? It's 9:46 right now on the East Coast. So, is the boy ready? It's been a little over 48 hours. He got something in the tuck. He got something in the chamber for him. We're going to see. We are going to see. But also speaking about, I guess if this comes out, then round two begins. Round two begins either tonight or tomorrow. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Drake may have. It's just quick enough to say that Drake had ghostwriters. that he had the OVO camp working overtime, that they couldn't go home. He said apparently AK said it's fake. Oh, interesting. So why would DJ Head say this then? Why would DJ Head say this? I mean, I don't know how close DJ Head is to Drake or Drake's camp, but I know Ak is pretty close. So did he say that on Twitter, or because I know he was talking to Kai on the phone. He was talking to Kai on the phone. Oh yeah, he's okay. It's here. 42 minutes ago, he said cap. That's well. So I don't know. He's right about push up going to DSP. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know the relationship with DJ Head, but I know that Ak is pretty close to Drake. So we'll see. We'll see if it ends up being true or not. If it ends up being true, then I gotta apologize. But you would also think that Drake would tell him though, right? Like I would think at this point, especially if when push-ups came out, then he sent the track to Ak. So we'll see. What up, Andy? Yeah. So like I said, we'll see. Because like I said, if that's true, then I would assume that he would probably do the same thing, right? Like I don't think that Drake would go to other people. Like I think that if another track was dropping, he would first let the people know, like the same people that were already in his corner, aka the people on this payola. Because that's what everybody said. They say like all the famous Drake blazers are on they're on Drake's payola. So I would assume he would go to the same people, like about a alleged new track, right? So I would think that too. So I don't know. We'll take it as this for now. Access cap. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see about that. But yeah, I found it interesting that DJ Head said that. So I was like, what's supposed to be on the way? And this man said confirmed. Like that would be ugly, right? That'll be ugly if you said that and then you said confirmed. Like this part, okay. Like this part, okay. I hear that he's dropping a hit record, but then you said confirmed. So that's what I'm really tripping about. Cause like you gotta eat that, bro. You gotta eat that. You said confirmed. Like that ain't like you followed up on it. So we doubling down now. I don't know. So like I said, we'll see. What up, Paladin? All right, so we're done with that for now. We will wait to see if round two begins and when it will begin. We'll definitely see. But like I said, I'm excited for hip hop. I'm about to start gatekeeping though, to be honest. I'm about to start gatekeeping because I saw a lot of just dumb takes on Twitter and YouTube in the last like 48 hours. Really saw some dumb takes. I'm like, look, bro, if you were under the age of like 25 then you're gonna have to show me something. Like I may have to come up with like a hip hop quiz or something, and be like, if you can't answer these questions, then you just don't talk about nothing hip hop. Don't talk about nothing hip hop, because it's pretty ridiculous. Like I said, people are showing their like clear biases, confirmation bias is crazy. Like people are just like saying that this euphoria ain't nothing. They're doubling down, tripling down on it. Like a lot of misinformation going around. So like I said, take it like everything you see with a grain of salt. But like I said, there are more people who are that are more validated than others than just random off of Twitter. Also saw, which I missed this one. They said Crody. That Crody is the name of Drake's cat. I did not catch that clip. I saw that clip where Drake was introducing his cat, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta say it like this, Crody." And I was like, "Oh," that's why Kendrick was saying that. So he really called him a pussy. Oh, they really calling him a pussy. I said that's again, it's more. I thought it was just like Toronto slang or something. I thought it was Toronto slang, but Kendrick apparently saw that. So he named his cat Crody. So that man kept saying it. I was like, bro, this stuff is funny, man. People don't remember the beef days. Yeah, I need to be like, look, did you ever see the beef documentary? Did you ever see those? Like, do your history. This is why the OG don't like the young cats. I went over that before because they don't do their history. They don't do their research. A lot of disrespect going. Say, in order for you to talk about if you talk about beef, I think there needs to be more qualification. I'm saying, when you start gatekeeping hip hop, bro. You start gatekeeping.